Does the Sun Sleep? Noticing Sun, Moon, and Star Patterns by Martha E.H. Rusted, illustrated by Holly Kunger. Chapter 1, The Sun. Our class is starting the day outside. Look up, says our teacher, Mr. Cruz. What do you see in the sky? The early morning moon catches Issa's eye. Look at that airplane, says Nito. Tara points at the sun behind a cloud. Good observations, our teacher says. He has already taught us that an observation is something we see. Never look directly at the sun. Direct sunlight harms your eyes. Mr. Cruz leads us back to our classroom. He asks what a pattern is. Akiko raises her hand. It's something that happens again and again. Right, says Mr. Cruz. Can anyone think of a pattern that the sun follows? It shines during the day, Dexter says, and we can't see it at night. Day, night, day, night, says Akiko. A pattern. Let's see how the sun's position changes during the day, says Mr. Cruz. First, he shows a picture of the sky in the morning. The sun's near the horizon, he says. That's the line where the sky and land seem to meet. Next, he shows a picture of the sky at noon. We see the sun high in the sky. Then he shows us a picture of the sky in the evening. The sun is near the horizon again. It's another pattern, Alice says. Yes, says our teacher. Every day the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. The sun doesn't really move across the sky. It only looks like it's moving because Earth is spinning. Does the sun sleep at night? Jacob asks. Mr. Cruz smiles. No, he says. The sun never stops shining. He makes the room dark and shines a flashlight on a globe. We pretend the light is the sun. Then Mr. Cruz slowly spins the globe. He tells us that our planet spins too. I get it, says Dion. When it's day on one side of Earth, it's not on the other side. Yes, our teacher says. When we're getting up, people in Australia are going to bed. It takes Earth 24 hours to spin all the way around once. Chapter 2, The Moon. Mr. Cruz asks us about the moon. Can you think of patterns it follows? The moon changes shape each night, says Tara. Sometimes it's round like an O, and sometimes it's only a sliver like a C. And sometimes we can't see it at all, says Nito. Why does it keep changing? The moon follows a pattern of waxing and waning. Waxing means growing bigger, and waning means growing smaller. First, Mr. Cruz tells us the moon does not shine by itself. It is lit up by light from the sun. Then he shines the flashlight on the globe. He asks Jacob to hold up a small moon. The moon travels around Earth, he says. We see only the part of the moon that is lit by the sun. That's why the moon's shape seems to change from night to night. The moon rises in the east and sets in the west, just like the sun. Chapter 3, The Stars. Mr. Cruz asks, what else do we see in the sky at night? Stars, say Alice and Dion. Issa asks, why don't we see stars during the day? We talk about how stars shine all the time, but the stars are very far away, so their light is dim. It's too dim for us to see in sunlight. Stars look small, but they are actually very big. They are much bigger than Earth or other planets. They look small because they are so far away. Mr. Cruz shows us a picture of the night sky. He points at a group of stars. I see a square here, he says. Does anyone else see shapes in the stars? We see triangles, rectangles, and many other shapes. You can draw pretend lines to connect stars, just like a dot to dot, says our teacher. We learned that a group of stars that makes a shape is called a constellation. There are 88 constellations in the night sky. What would happen if we stayed up all night and watched the stars? Mr. Cruz asks. I'd be too tired at school the next day, Akiko says. Our teacher laughs. That's true, he says. But we would also see another pattern. The stars look like they move across the sky from east to west. Our class has learned that there are a lot of patterns in the sky. We just have to observe them. Does the sun sleep? Noticing sun, moon, and star